All right, guys, here's our last video on 2-point perspective, regular and odd boxes. We're going to talk about doing the shadows for these boxes. Now, if you want to go back over how to shade them and how to draw them, go back and refer to the other two videos, the regular boxes and the odd box video, where I showed you how to do all that. We're just going to talk about shadows on this video. So as you can see, I have my eye line up high, up here. Do the same in your sketchbook. Put your eye line up high, and then there's one vanishing point right here, and there's the other vanishing point over there. And then there's plenty of room for me to draw my 4 boxes, and this is what you're going to do in your sketchbook, just 4 boxes, 2 regular boxes and 2 odd boxes. And we're going to shade and shadow them. And like I said, if you need to review shading, go back to the other 2 videos. I'm just going to talk about the shadows that these boxes get. Okay, so I've already drawn them. Okay, here's the center. The left side went right here to the left vanishing point. The right side went to the right vanishing point. And the top went from the opposite corner to the opposite vanishing point, and from the opposite corner to the opposite vanishing point. That's how all of these were done. Okay, so let's talk about the shadows for these now. You can see I have my arrows above front right, above front left, above front left, and above front right. So let's go with the regular boxes first. They're a little easier to do. So up here, the light's coming from above front right. So this front corner right here, that'll be where the shadow comes from. Okay, so we've got to go behind the box, and that's why this line is angled back like this. It's behind the box. So let me draw that. And I've got the smaller Sharpie for the shadow. You can still see it, but there's a difference between this and this, so you can tell hopefully what shadow is and what box is. So anyway, behind the box, and this center line is that line, okay? That's where the shadow's coming from. Then the top part of the box up here goes to the vanishing point, so the shadow needs to go to the vanishing point over here. Now, I'll probably get my head in the way again, but I've got to check to see where I am. All right, there we go. So there's my line for that part of the shadow. That's this part of the box. So I've got this part of the box right here, and this part of the box right here. And then the top part of the box back here is going to the vanishing point on this side. Now this box isn't very tall, so we're not going to see the shadow sticking out from the back. It's just going to disappear behind the box. And like I said, this part is going to the vanishing point, so this will be also going to the vanishing point on the other side. So right there. All right, we're lined up. So there's the rest of the shadow. Very simple, okay? Front corner, top, and the back of the top. All right, so behind the box, to the vanishing point, to the other vanishing point. Let's do the other regular box. It's coming, the light source is coming from the opposite side on this one, so we're going to go behind the box going this way. Now I've got another box drawn here, so I'm not going to be able to draw the shadow completely out. It's going to go behind that box. It would come all the way out here somewhere, but you can't see around that box, so that's where we're going to stop it. All right, and then from the end of that, it would go to the vanishing point up here, and then from that, it would go to the other vanishing point over there. So that's what I have here, is where it's going to the other vanishing point. And you could lightly draw this in pencil coming back here to where you want it to be, and then going to the vanishing point and going to the other vanishing point. That's what I did when I actually drew it. So that's how I got where that is. And then I need to find the back corner. So if I come straight down right here and I take this corner to the vanishing point, that back corner is right there. Okay, you probably can't see it on camera, but I just did it so that I could see it. And it's parallel to this line. So all I have to do is slide up where the back corner is, and this are parallel to each other. So that's where that comes out. Okay, so we can see the shadow coming out from behind the box at this point, and that is because of A, where the box is located in relation to the eye line, it's further down, and B, it's a taller, skinnier box, so the shadow's actually longer. So that's why we get that. Okay? Now, let's do this top box. It's a little more difficult, so we'll do it first. And like I said earlier with some of my other videos, I already have these drawn out on the paper so that I can talk about it with you as I draw them. So first of all, let's go behind the box. And I'm going to skip a spot because of this cutout right here. So I'm going to go here and skip and go here. So this line is this, and if that continued straight up, it would continue straight up. And that's what I did. And then after I did this, I erased that part. And then this line is this little short part right here. This is longer, this is a little shorter. So this is longer, this is a little shorter. Okay? Then I have this going back here in the cutout. This and this go to the vanishing point. So this would go to the vanishing point, and so would this. This one is the only one we're going to see right here, and that's because this line right here goes to the vanishing point, and it will cover anything that would go back that direction. I have it drawn in pencil, but then I have this going to the vanishing point, so this I would just get rid of. You can't see it on camera, but that's exactly what happened. So this is going to the vanishing point here, so this would go to the vanishing point here. Okay, that's this and this. So that's this and that. My pen didn't draw very well, so let me fix that a little bit. There we go. All right, now this top little piece up here, if it was taller, you might be able to see it coming out on the shadow this way, but since it's so short, you're not going to see it. So this part right here is also blocking the light because this is so short, so it's going to the vanishing point here, like that. So the top of this corner right here, is going to the vanishing point here, like that. All right. Then we have this going back. So right here is going back to the other vanishing point. So we're going to go back there. And I see I made just a little mistake here, which is not a big mistake, but a little one. It's going to go back there. That's far enough. And then this little part sticks up. So we're going to fall back here just a little. And we're going to make it stick up right there, just a little, like that. And then we're going to finish taking it to the vanishing point. Like that. All right. And then this back corner that you can't see, if you go from here to the vanishing point, and if you come straight down from here, that back corner is right there. Okay. Like I said, you can't see it, but I can see it. So this and this are parallel to each other. So that's where that line is coming out. Okay. So that's going to be the shadow for this part, but we have two more things we have to deal with. This is overhanging this. So once again, we have to be parallel here, and that's going to be this line right here. So there that is. That is that. Okay. And then this is sticking out, and that's coming from the vanishing point. Let me do it this way so you can see a little better. The vanishing point right there. All right, there we are. And that sticks out right there. So now this is the shadow here, okay? And then this, same thing happens. We're parallel here. That's coming from the corner there. I'm going to stick out like that. And then this is going to the vanishing point, so the shadow is going to go to the vanishing point here. Okay, there that is. I didn't do a very good job right there, but let's see if I can fix it a little bit. All right, that's better. All right, so there you are. Shadow here for this blocking light, shadow under here for this part blocking light, and then the rest of the box, that's how the shadow would go for the rest of the box. I'm going to come back with my pencil in just a minute and just kind of put some color where the shadow is. I'm not going to actually shade it, but it would be from black where it's in there out to gray 8, from black to gray 8, and from black where it's touching the object out this way to gray 8. Okay? And I'm going to just put some color there for you. Every time you have a shadow, it's black up against the object, and as it moves out away from the object, it goes out to gray 8. And we've said that before with 1-point perspective and with cones and cylinders and spheres. So let's do the last one right quick here. So we're going here behind the box, always going behind the box because of where the light source is. That's above front right. Okay, and above front left. So there we are with this. That's this line right here. Then this part is going to the vanishing point right there. So this has to go to the vanishing point. And I've got to leave a gap right here. When I drew it in pencil, I just drew it and then I took the gap out. But I'm just going to skip over it since I'm doing it in pen. My head's going to get in the way again for just a second. Make sure I'm lined up. Okay, I'm good. So we're going to go here and here. All right. So there that part is. Let me kind of fix that a little bit. There we go. All right. So that's this part and this part. All right. Now this goes back into space here and back into space here to this vanishing point. So if I did that to the vanishing point, I would have a pencil line that went back right here and another pencil line that went back parallel to it here. But I don't need all of that because this right here is getting in the way of part of it. So that's going to the vanishing point there, like that. All right. And then this part, this right here is getting in the way of the light there, so it's parallel to this right there. Actually, I told you the wrong way. That should have come this way. This part right here, the open spot, would have come this way and this way. That's my fault. Should be this way down here and this way down here. But like I said, I don't need that because of the other things that are getting in the way. All right. Now this part right here is going to the vanishing point. So this part of the shadow goes to the vanishing point right there. And this is going to be longer than it looks simply because the other part of the shadow is sticking out, and it has to stick out from this back corner back here that you can't see, which is actually right there. So that's why this ends up being longer than it looks like it should be. Okay, so from there, this and this are parallel. Slide back right there. There's the corner, and there's where it sticks out. Okay. Now these two shadows, this shadow and this shadow, happen to overlap each other. And that's perfectly fine. Shadows do that. But where the overlap is, right here, this ends up being a little darker. So this is black to 8 moving out, and this is black to 8 moving out. You know, ordinarily you wouldn't have two different directions. But if a shadow happened to overlap going the same direction, you get the same thing. That this part of the shadow ends up being darker than this or this. Okay, so if you have things that overlap, that gets a little bit of darker treatment so that you can tell that the two shadows overlap. All right, so I got one more thing to do. This part right here, this skinny part, is blocking light from getting inside. The light's coming over the top. This is above front right, so the light's coming from over here. It can hit this part, but it can't hit down inside here. So we're going back to the vanishing point here, like that. And we're going to the vanishing point here, like that, right there. Let me grab my pencil. Like I said, I'm not going to do from black to 8. I'm not going to do the full shadowing or the full shading part. I'm just going to indicate where the shadows are so that you can see them. Okay, so here's my shadow here, down here, and like I said, I'm not going to do a really good job as far as doing a nice shading job. I'm just doing this so you can tell where the shadows are. There's one in there, and this would end up being in shadow because of where it's located. So that part right there, and then this part here is the shadow for this big box. Like that. And then this part right here is the shadow for this other box. And then this part right here would end up being a little darker. So I'm just going to make sure that that's a little bit darker so that you can see that those two shadows overlap right there. All right, and then this shadow up here, like that. This shadow under here, like that, and the shadow up here, like that. All right. And any mistakes I made, I would just come back and erase. And like I said, I'm not doing a really nice job of shading. I'm just trying to show you where the shadows are laying so that you can tell what is what. Okay. So there we go. All right. So let me show this in your sketchbook, what you are expected to do. At this point, we have already done this page. Let me see if I can get it out of the way. There we go, that's better. There's 12 regular boxes, and you should have shaded 5 of them. 3 in color and 2 in pencil. Okay, I have the opposite here, but you do 3 in color and 2 in pencil. And then we did the odd boxes. There are 10 odd boxes here. They're drawn above and all that stuff. And you're supposed to shade 4, 2 in color and 2 in pencil. Make sure that you always put your arrows there. I didn't mention that on the first page, but make sure you do that. And then the last page, what we've been talking about for the last part of this, for this video, put your eye line up high, put your vanishing points out at the end of the eye line, and make sure all your boxes are below the eye line so they will have a shadow. Okay, so do a regular box in color with the shadow, do an odd box in color with the shadow, and then do one of each in pencil with the shadow. Okay, this box is very similar to the one that I drew here. Okay, so that's your work for the last page. 4 boxes, 2 regular, 2 odd, shade 1 of each in pencil with a shadow and 1 of each in color with the shadow. And that's our last page for the sketchbook. So good luck. If you have questions, let me know.